Oh look, there's Spike. He was sleeping in the bathroom, and he just came out. It's about 3:30 p.m. on Thursday, July 13th, 2017. It's been raining. It's been raining every day for 3 months. The rain just subsided. Spike's been taking a nap. Now it looks like he's drinking some water. And he's been sleeping behind the drum set lately. Or sleeping in there. It's much cooler in the bathroom on the tiles. But anyway, hoping he'll come over here and jump up here on my lap. Hey buddy. I'll tell you what. Baby, what are you doing? You just thinking about what you want to do? Come on, Spike. You want to come here? Kitty, kitty, kitty. Alright, bud, well. Yeah, you look tired. Alright, Spike. We'll talk with you in a little bit, okay? Alright, it's about 5:40 p.m. on Thursday, July 13th. And I put our cat comforter down here on the back seat of my car, and kind of blocked off the undersides of those two seats. And I put Spike's carrier in there. I took the door off, and I put a little pillow down there, and I've decided that I'm going to see if Spike wants to go for a little ride with me. He's always been great in the car, and I let's see. I wanted to show him around the town a little bit. So I'm going to see if he'll enjoy that. I'm going to go get him, and then we'll take some more video. If he wants to go, that is. Okay. Alright, I'm showing Spike where I went to middle school. This is Howard Bishop Middle School. Hey buddy. He was laying in the back seat here, and I stopped, and he did look out the window, but now it looks like he might want to lay down. Okay, you can lay down. I just wanted to show you. I'm glad he got to see it. And I'm glad to see it again, too. Yeah, I went to school here for, let's see, 6th and 7th grade. This is the front office. And I believe that's the library over there. And that's 9th Street. And I'm on 8th Street. We're on 8th Street. The next street over, so it's really, really close. Right, Spike? Hey. Okay. Alright, we'll get going. And my elementary school is right down over there. So maybe we'll go over there. Let's see. Give some shots of the school. Hold on. Okay, here's a bit more of Howard Bishop. Here's Spike laying beside me. A little bit more. I had classes down that wing over there, and there's a courtyard area right about there. And I would walk here on the days that I was staying with my mom, and then on Mondays and Tuesdays I was staying with my dad, and he'd drop me off in there. And yeah, I remember those days vividly. Interesting times here at Howard Bishop. Spike, what do you think? What do you think, buddy? Yeah, we're going slow. We're going slow. And now this is the field. The field over here. I'll just tell you about it, Spike. You don't have to get up. Okay. It's okay. We used to have phys ed out there on that field. The track is there. And Metcalf Elementary is right over there. So the two schools are very, very close to each other. Yeah. And we would play football on that that field area right there in the center of the track. Hey, bud. You doing alright? We're going to go over here to Metcalf now. We'll circle around it this way. We'll go straight. Make sure I drive safely now. We're going slow. No other cars. See, Spike, when you drive, you gotta be real careful. Gotta always look around and drive defensively. And I normally would never videotape while I'm driving, but this is a very special circumstance. I picked a time when I thought this area would be very slow traffic, and I was right. There's very few cars out in these areas. This is Metcalf Elementary, and all of this is the added on wings that was added on in my 5th grade year. And all of it was just field for all those years before, because I went here kindergarten through 5th, and we used to actually just play in it wasn't a field, it was woods. It was just woods, trees, that's it. And then 5th grade they added all these extra wings, and we moved over there with it. Hey bud, doing alright down there? Hey, we're just riding around. Thought you might like to ride around with Daddy a little bit. See, because I leave the house and I leave him home, and he has to just wonder where I'm at. I just wanted to ride with him. We've never done this before. Just had a leisurely ride around. You know, I've always wanted to travel with Spike. Like, get on the road and just travel with him. Never had the means to. Never had the right kind of vehicle or the... I know, buddy. I know. Never had... It just never worked out, so I'm doing it now. I hope you're enjoying it, Spike. Believe me, I'm watching the road, buddy. I'm holding the camera. Okay. And I'm watching the road, because driving safe is important. In fact, Spike here made me a better driver, because whenever I'm out on the road, I know that I have him waiting for me to come home, and I always promise him that I will come home. Yeah, hey bud, we're turning into the school parking lot. This is my elementary school. Yeah, I always promise that I'll come home to Spike, so I make sure that I do everything I can to drive as safely as possible. There's the basketball court. And let me see if I can remember which one was my 5th grade wing. It was Miss Reynolds. Rita and I had a class together. I believe it was that door there on the right. And we actually had classes in each of these rooms here. We had 3 rotating classes. One was science, one was math, one was history. And then the rest of the day was spent in Reynolds' class there. So we would get there. It was kind of like homeroom. Hey, buddy. And then we'd go for science there, and then math there, and maybe we had... I think that was it. And then come back here to Reynolds for history, and then we'd stay there for the rest of the day, and then we'd go to lunch, and then we'd come back, and I did a lot of magic tricks there in that hallway. While we were, the kids would be standing in line, I'd be doing card tricks, rope tricks, coin tricks. Hey, you know your daddy was a magician, didn't you? Yeah, you did. A musician. It's a musician and a magician together. Can't remember if I came up with that or if Rita came up with that, or maybe both of us came up with that term. Musician. Yeah. Hey, buddy. So this is where I went to school, Spike. What do you think? You're hearing me describe it to you. You're just relaxing. Yeah, you're just relaxing. I know, buddy. I know. It's nice for me to take this little memory lane trip, Alright, I gotta be careful, because, again, driving, gotta be safe. There's no other cars around, but you never know. Driving can be unpredictable. I normally wouldn't do this unless it was a very special occasion for this guy here. I know, but... yeah. These are very interesting, amazing years for me at this school. Because, 6 years here. A lot of developing. This was when I was becoming, a musician. Beat Street was still in full force. You know, in fact, this was like the beginnings of Beat Street. In like 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, the years I was in elementary school were the years Beat Street was at its highest. They were playing a lot, and I was becoming a musician and playing with Beat Street and learning how to perform on stage, playing with my dad and Rob and Billy Fritzius and Hal Saylor, and meeting other musicians, and also becoming a magician. I was really developing my skills here. I still know some people that I went to school with from these years. A lot of us have lost touch, but some of them I still see on Facebook and around town every now and then. Hey, buddy. Hey, bud. It's okay. I'll just keep on talking. I know it's relaxing for you to hear me. But just talk. I know. And I want you to relax, buddy. I want you to relax. Okay. And I'm gonna get on video a very special moment that I remember very well. And we even have a photograph of it. And I'll explain it in just a moment. This used to be the main entrance, and I guess it still is. But right here, at this tree, is a picture of me and my dad on the very first day of kindergarten. I believe it was 1988. My mom took the picture, and my dad and I are standing. I think it's right here, or we're standing right over there. But it was in this area, that first day of kindergarten, and I remember it. I still remember it. It was very, very exciting. It was also very, very scary. You know, there's scary times. Your dad has been scared before, Spike, but you know what? We've gotten through it. Just like you've gotten through it. And we've gotten through many things together, haven't we? Yeah. But I remember that day, and I'm sure my dad still remembers it. And then I went to elementary school. Well, I went to kindergarten. Miss Stanley was her name. And it wasn't that class, but I did have a class in that room right there. I believe it was second grade. No, that was my fourth grade class. That blue door right there on the left, that was my fourth grade class. And my second grade class was all the way at the end. The very last door on the very end, way down there. That was my second grade. And I think I had some classes down a little bit further. Third grade. And then for about a month of fifth grade, there was a room down there before we moved to the new wing. So yeah, there's a lot of memories in those wings. And this playground was here, but I'm trying to remember if that was the one that they, if that's where I played, or if it was that one over there. I think I played more on that playground right there. But I may have played on that one too. I love the swings. And before, hey Spike, hey there darling. Before I was old enough to walk home, it's not far, but when you're a, 5-6-year-old kid, this is a far walk. Before I was old enough, I would walk down this. Here, let's stop. I'd walk down this wing, and I'd come and I'd stand right there at that tree. I'd stand at that tree and I'd wait for my dad. It was pretty much always my dad that would come and pick me up. And there were also times when we were in the other wing. Well, sometimes my class for second grade, because it was at the very far end, would let out, and my dad would pick me up way down there at the other side. Before that new wing was developed, there was just a fence by the road, and he would just be waiting there in his Buick station wagon, his silver Buick, and I would open the door. I'd open the door of second grade, and I'd look, well, not here, but over there, and I'd look way down, and I could see his car. I knew he was waiting for me. And same here. Usually I'd be walking down, and he'd already be parked right there. He'd just be waiting for me. Those are very, very clear, vivid memories for me. What do you think, Spike? And see, and now, Spike, your daddy is riding you in the car. Yeah. The cycle continues, doesn't it, bud? Because I would sit right where you are right now in my dad's car, and he'd come and pick me up, and then we'd go home. What do you think, bud? Yeah, and let's see, the front office where Dr. Niederkor worked was there. And then this was a special wing. I think that was for that was the disabled. I don't remember what the name of it was. And there was a playground here. It's not here anymore. But I'm just gonna keep this rolling. I gotta wait for these cars to pass. But yeah, there was either a library there, or it was because we had several handicapped, blind, deaf kids, many of whom were friends of mine. Very, very nice kids. They were always very, very polite. And a lot of kids would tease them. I mean, for some reason, you know, the disabled or disadvantaged sometimes would get teased by kids, and always made me sad because they were always so sweet. And hey buddy, hey buddy. So we're just driving back now. We're driving back now, and see, I'm gonna stop the video for just a moment. And this is the Northeast Park. It's where my dad played a lot of racquetball and whooped a lot of people. He was great. He still is great. Isn't that nice? Those murals, they're pretty. All this is pretty recent artwork, but it's very, very well done. And my dad played tennis there. Every now and then I would play racquetball with my dad, but nothing. I'm not the athlete. My dad is. I did join a baseball team briefly when I was a kid, and we had some games here. But I was never. I could hit, and that was about it. So I think we're gonna go to the other side of the park. Okay, there's not many cars. Hey, bud. We're gonna go to the other side of the park. Yeah, we're passing by the Northeast Park right now, Spike. Yeah. And we're gonna circle around this street here, and then go to the back, and we'll resume then. Okay, we've circled around to the back side of the park. This is the south side. Yeah. Now, I've spent a lot of time here. This is what I'm saying now, Spike. I spent a lot of time here with my dad, with my mom, and have a lot of memories on those swings over there, those tables, the merry-go-round, the slide. There's a little covered area there where you can eat lunch. And the Leddens live right over there. Well, it's the Ledden house, Monica Ledden, and that's where they have their jams. Bernie comes back, Tommy Ledden, Tom Petty spent a lot of time in that house over there. Yeah. I've been there several times, and had some fun jam sessions there. And when we get, I'll pull up and show a little bit more. Hey there, buddy. You doing alright? You doing okay? Yeah. So it brings back nice memories for me to come here. And to come here with my favorite baby man. Yeah. Alright, let's progress. I'll go up to the Ledden house, and then I'll turn around and come back this way. And when Tommy is in town, he likes to jog all the way down here. Every now and then I'll see him whenever he's back in town from Nashville. That's where, well, back there is where we would always go. But this is it. Yep. Tom Petty talks about this house in his book. Yeah, I'm gonna turn around. Hold on. Okay, we're circling around, and this road leads directly to 8th Street, which is our street. Pretty convenient. And Billy Fritzius, our bass player, lived, I believe, it was either that house or this house. I think it was this house. Yeah, I think that was the house there. Yeah, he lived in the same house as us for several years while I was a kid, and which was pretty interesting. Oh, there's a little kitty over there, a little gray cat, pretty kitty. There's lots of cats on these streets. Spike decided to jump back in the back seat. We're on our street. We're almost home, and I enjoyed this little ride, riding around town with Spike. You alright back there, bud? You okay? Yeah. Been living on this street for a long time. We moved into the house, let's see, I believe it was May 1st of 1984 is when we first moved in. And then I moved out, well, let me see. We moved out the first day of my 8th grade in 1996. That was August of 96. And then I moved back in August of 2001. So for 5 years I was gone, but for all the rest of the time I've lived here. And before that we lived in a little house on 4th Avenue, which might be interesting to drive by. I'll consider it. Okay. There it is. There's the house where I was born. I was born in that room right there. Yep. That's the house where I was born. Right over there. Amazing. This was our neighborhood. Wow. Yeah, I decided to come down here and tell Spike all about it. He's still in the back seat. He's on the floorboard. I think he went to sleep. Alright, just wanted to get that little quick video of our old house. Yeah, I was born there, and we were there for, I think, about a year and a half. Yeah, that makes sense. Year and a half. Yeah, exactly 18 months we were there. And we got on out and moved to where I'm living now. Alright, Spike, I'm gonna take us back home now, okay, buddy? Alright, take a little nap and we'll be home soon. Okay, since it's a little bit dangerous and congested down here, I'm gonna do this really quick. But there's Lillian's, where I played my first, what I call it, gig. The year it snowed here, December of 1989, I played there with Beat Street. My mom brought me in. It was a school night, actually. I believe it was, yeah, it was early December, I think. And my mom brought me in, and Rob Peck called me up on the stage to play. And I played with the band. I played 4 or 5 songs. I think I closed the set out with them. And it was an incredible experience, incredible rush, and we actually sounded really good. And from that point on, I've been playing professionally ever since. I was 6 years old, and wow, incredible. Hey, Spike. Yeah, look at my baby. He's sleeping down here on the floorboard. Hey, buddy. And we're home. Yeah, it was about 45 minutes that we rode around. Hey, bud. Yeah, he just took a nap back here. Yeah, he did. But we're home now. He's purring. Yeah, he was really comfortable and really enjoyed the ride. So it's time for us to go back in, and I'm really glad we did this. This was a fun little road trip for me and my baby Spike. I love you, Spike.